rules, buttons, a bit of fun. Then, somewhere along the way, the big platforms moved in. Last year, $200 billion flowed upwards, away from the people who actually play. This year, they take it back. YOM, where players play games straight from your PC, not a data center in Virginia. Meet Tyler Pemberton. Yes, this looks dramatic, but he's perfectly fine. Tyler's offline. His PC isn't. 47 players streaming from his GPU right now. Even AFK, Tyler's rig is pulling its weight. He's making money in his sleep. Maybe this is what happens when gamers finally take control of their own world. Turn your idle GPU into passive income. YOM.net. Eat, sleep, earn, repeat.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, welcome back. It's been a little while, right? It's been like 2 weeks. I apologize. Again, I had a personal commitment that I had to take care of last week, so we missed out. Wednesday was a pre-recorded show, which again I almost never do. I prefer to do it live so I can do the chats, and then Friday it was actually the night before the service. So again, I appreciate everyone's patience and welcome back to the show. So big things going on this week with us. I've got some updates from the project. I'm going to hit them lightly tonight, but go into them more in depth on Friday. I've got a lot of a couple more industry news stories that have come up that kind of again play into what we are. And then I think the big thing we'll do tonight is to spend some time looking at Gamescom, as it's only 2 weeks away. And it's a big deal, obviously, for us because of everything that happened last year. So welcome to the show, everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jeff Outlaw. I am the COO of YOM. We've been, well, let's talk really quick about what YOM is. If you didn't watch the timer commercial, I'll give it to you in a nutshell. We are a decentralized cloud network. So you're seeing in the news all over the place these stories about where AI centers are popping up everywhere, data centers are popping up everywhere, and communities are pushing back on them because it's a lot of noise, a lot of disruption to the local environment. It jacks up the energy price. It jacks up the water bills for people in the local area. So what we are is a solution to all of that. YOM is a decentralized network. We allow people who've got a gaming rig at home, and there are lots of them, that sit idle for about 80% of the time, right? So what we allow you to do is when you have a gaming rig and you go to bed at night, or you go off to work during the day or off to school during the day, you put your gaming rig on our network, and we pump games through your network, through your GPU to the people who want to play it just by hitting a website where the games are hosted. And then we pay you for the use of your GPU. So you're in passive income from your gaming rig at home. This means we can, again, alleviate all the pain that the massive data centers cause because we've got our data center distributed, right? So we're not trying to suck up energy from one location. We're taking energy requirements from all the places around the world. And then the other problems people are having with these centralized data systems when they're running games on them is that there's usually a bit of a wait to get in line, a queue to get in line because there's many people surging at the same time. Obviously, we distribute that surge across the world. And then latency issues too. There are a lot of people who can't use these centralized cloud gaming systems because they're too far away from one of those databases or central servers, and the lag time from the distance is just unplayable, makes the game unplayable. Again, what we do is our orchestrator finds the closest node to the player when they hit the website that they want to play from, and then makes that connection and starts the game from there. A good example of how we are using our network is being used is if you go to walter.gg and play Counter-Strike or Warframe, either one of those games that are running now, and I think a third's coming up before the end of this week. You'll see what it means, what it feels like to connect through Steam through walter.gg and just play a game without having to download it, no installs, no updates, none of those things. You basically play it for free off of somebody else's gaming rig on any computer, on a laptop, on your phone, on a small end iPad, those kinds of things. We have the TV app that's getting ready to launch as well, so you'll be playing in your living room. So it's a new way to do technology. It's a lot better than having to count on these data centers that are getting all kinds of pushback. And maybe that's a good place to start. Let's take a look at some of the articles. So the one thing that I ran across, and again, it's just a growing trend. We see this all over the place, is the resistance to data centers. This article is from Tom's Hardware. I'll swap that out so you guys can read it and not have to look at me all the whole time. So again, the amount of the article is counting how many localities are pushing back on data centers, and it grew from about 300 at the end of June to about 500 at the end in July. So there are, and it's full states taking action here in the States now. Texas has got a ban, and New York State have also put a ban on, or a moratorium anyways, on the building of these new data centers. And you're seeing that investors are starting to pull back too. They're starting to realize that A, the profitability may not be there, and B, the damage to their reputation, or the people in the communities are just pushing back. Because again, when you have one of these big data centers get built in your area and it starts drawing all the power that it needs, it means that you're now competing for energy usage against one of these data centers, which drives the cost up. Or maybe better said, the amount of megawatts that are available to the community has gone down, and now because it's more scarce, that means the price has to come up. So that's just one of the pushbacks. There's another place in Virginia where they're starting to build power lines to get to the data center from the power plants, and they're just seizing land. People's land is getting seized so they can put transmission lines through people's home and property, not really homes, but property anyways. And it's not really again, the community is pushing back on all this stuff. What we do again with YOMs, we use existing hardware, existing we just take advantage of all those gaming rigs that are sitting idle and not getting used. Again, we just allow people to make money passively at home through their systems. That was a big story. Again, jumping from 300 to 500 is a pretty big jump. The other story I want to get into, it's related more closely to the games, and that is this one here, that PlayStation's live service dropped. Where am I looking here? Yeah, here we go. I should do her. Dropped over a dozen games. All of a sudden just disappeared overnight from the cloud, including Ghost of Yodi, which is a popular game. Now they're saying they hit a technical glitch and a snag, but again, having a central database also means a single point of failure. But the suspicion that I have, and other people have kind of mirrored this suspicion, the games that are super popular, either the games are really popular and that's drawing a lot of requirements from the data center, so they have to take them down because they can't host. It's expensive for them to run that many servers at once, or the games are not super popular and therefore just taking up space, and they realize, if we just take these games out, we don't have to worry about those few players who are playing, and we can put a different game on, or just not run those units and save ourselves the power usage. So regardless, the centralized system that PlayStation is running on has those problems where they can just go ahead and take a game out of your library without you even knowing it. That's again a decentralized network where we have the games copied onto machines all over the world. Kind of alleviates this concern that people are having with the centralized database system, the centralized gaming clouds. So two stories again kind of speak more to our thesis. And we started building this 4 years ago. It's amazing to me to see how data centers have come like right to the front of the news. I say amazing, probably just we kind of always suspected it would be inevitable that the large centralized systems are going to fall under their own weight. I don't think even at the time when we started that we thought that AI was going to have the impact that it is having, where that the requirements that it just needs, and the people who are using it for all kinds of applications, that the competition was going to drive the price up for GPU power from the central units, and that again makes our solution even more valuable to the gaming community, right? But there's no disputing any longer. So there's the other article. I didn't bring it up, but the other video I was watching this week is again about how cloud gaming really is so necessary for the next generation, just because the consoles are just being jacked up over $1,000 is what's projected for PlayStation 6. It's going to become a niche market. We're going to lose players based on the hardware costs if we can't convert them over to cloud gaming. But again, if cloud gaming is all centralized, you're going to have all the other problems that centralized clouds have. So really the solution is going to be decentralized clouds. I'm beating a dead horse. Let's get on to the real meat of the show tonight, Gamescom, because it looks super exciting. So I spent some time, and I probably could have spent more time, running through the Gamescom website to get me all juiced up. So our plans are, it starts on the 24th. I think the kickoff night is the 25th, but 24th is a Monday, and it goes all the way to the following Sunday on the 30th. It is in Cologne, Germany, right where we have a big cluster of nodes already launched. Amsterdam, that whole portion of Europe, we've got fairly well covered. So that's again a good thing for us. We're going with a lot of Walter swag. So we're going to have a whole, I'm saying the Walter Army. We've got a bunch of volunteers who are going to be passing out Walter gear. So you'll see Walter.gg items all over the show if you're going this year. But we're also sending, obviously, CEO, Yort, our CCO, Andy, and our head of our biz dev manager, John. All three of them are going. They've got a stack of meetings already lined up. The important thing for conferences like this, for a studio like ourselves, is to get a lot of advanced planning done. So to make sure that we have that we're meeting with the right people, they know who we are, obviously, in advance. I did want. I thought it was kind of nice. We refresh the page. So it does. This is again from last year, right? The game tech startup. So winning last year's pitch competition and being the tech startup of the show last year afforded us. Oh, where did I lose it? Afforded us, all access passes. So that was kind of nice. So and then of course, reputation wise, people are coming to see what has happened to us in the last year. Which since the winning that award last year, we've launched our first 2 batches of nodes. That now there's penetration into North America, deeper into North America, to the West Coast. More penetration into Europe. We hit all the way out. We shipped all the way out to the Far East. So Singapore, I think is where I went. We're live in Australia. A couple more went up over to India, and down in South America we have Brazil and I'm going to forget. Ecuador? No, it's not Ecuador. Where's the other one in? Argentina. There we go. So 2 nodes up and running, or I think the one in Brazil is still on the way. So into South America, and again, it's a big market for us down there. So since last year, we've expanded by sending out those 2 batches. The networks, obviously, mainnet has gone live, and we're we've got and then we launched Walter.gg. 2 big portions that have also gone out since last year. Gamescom itself, again, is the largest gaming event in the world. And I always thought that because I'm American and I'm conceited in this way, I thought the GDC here in the States was a bigger one, but it's not. Gamescom is bigger. I think it's bigger by magnitude. It's a couple multiples. So it's really, really big for us that we go there. There are obviously the biggest names are going to be there. Sega, Xbox, EA, everyone who's important is going to be there. A lot of nice looking games are going to be previewed there, or just they're going to have release parties. A lot of Sims this year. I saw a bus simulator. I saw. What did I see? Hold on. There were so many simulators. It just seems like that's the thing that everyone's trying to do. Flight simulator, obviously, that's always been a big seller. But firefighting simulator, that's a new one for me. Bus driver. I've seen bus drivers before. Construction simulator. Boy, I don't know if it's a European thing or if it's just that's where games are going now. Seafaring sim. I'm gonna have to try a few more of them. I played Snow Tracer. What's the one with it was like driving trucks around the snow, and I just dug it. I mean, it really is really a beautiful looking game. Built in Unreal. Oops, sorry about the scratches. Built in Unreal. It was a beautiful game. So I get it. I get the allure. I don't know that seafaring is going to be one that I would jump into, but who knows? Maybe I'm being a little ex-Navy, so I'm a little biased. I think I'm done with being out in the middle of the ocean. Enough for a lifetime, anyways. So, anyways, a lot of games being revealed and previewed at Gamescom. Of course, that's a sip or die. I'm getting sidetracked. I apologize, but that looks pretty cool. It looks a little bit like Yeah, it looks a little bit like I Expect You to Die. All right, we're done. Let me get back to Gamescom. But for us, like where we spend most of our time is going to be in the business area. I had a copy of the map up. Where would it go? Info. Here we go. And here we go. The hall plan. So you can see again, it's massive. We'll probably be spending our time in the purple, the business areas. What they allow you to do is there is a meet and match app that we get, and it has us able to email contacts prior to the event happening and during the event, and set up meeting times, and we just meet in these meeting halls on there. So if you're trying to suss out one of our guys, I don't know that you can get into the area without a special pass, but that's probably what we're going to spend the bulk of our time, except for the Walter GG Army. They're going to be walking all over the floor in many of the areas, handing out the swag. So if you haven't seen, again, the big, and then the thing that kind of tickled me when I took a look at it, again, I didn't expect this to be the case, but if you don't want to get a hotel room, they've got a big campground set up. I guess this is a thing for Gamescom. You can bring your own tent, or you can rent the ones that they provide for you. But it looks like one big outdoor party. Now, you would expect the weather to be decent. I know that Europe has been going through a real heat wave. I don't. Next 2 weeks, maybe it breaks and everything's kind of chilled out. But yeah, if you just can't. They're kind of treating like like a Burning Man, but with less less debauchery. Let's hope. And then heading off to the Gamescom conference from the campground. Pretty cool. What did I not cover? Let's see. Oh, that's the gallery for the campsite. That's not what I'm looking for. Again, I spent a lot of time poking through, but if I were to go through everything that I found earlier today, that would probably be difficult to do. There was obviously, if you've never been to one of these conferences before, there are different levels of passes you can get. So you can go to some events, not others. I tend to enjoy when I go to these conferences. I tend to go look for the talks that talk about new technology. This whole thing's in German, so I'm going to stand only bits and pieces. Well, I guess not totally in German. Bits and pieces, but I tend to look at the technology ones because I'm very interested in seeing what we're competing with. Again, so far, we've not found anyone who's building a decentralized cloud. We've seen plenty of cloud offerings, but they're all using databases in some form or fashion. They're all going to have the same problems of cost and latency. The idea that people can make passive income from the gaming rigs, I think we exclusively own that concept. Looking for questions in the chat. If you got a question about either us attending Gamescom or about the project itself, please shoot it in there. The project update I wanted to give is let me get out of this. We've always said that we were going. The way the system works is depending on your gaming rig, you can host more than a single stream concurrently. That's the reason why it's so profitable for people who are deciding that they want to become a node operator. If you go to app.yom.net/rig check, right? It gives you plenty of different fields you can enter in your values. So if you plan on running your system 24/7, your return is going to be higher than someone who's going to run it 8 hours a day. If you have a better graphics card, that means you can run more streams concurrently. And again, that's going to play into what your earning is per month. And then also the area that you live in, if you run the rig check, it tests your bandwidth, your speed, it tests your system, it does a quick test on that. And it helps you kind of understand what your possible earnings might be. But we've had some breakthroughs in technology-wise in the past couple of weeks where the slicing that allows each GPU to run concurrent streams has gotten even better. Right. So where in the past we might have said, well, a GPU of this size might be able to run 2 streams concurrently. That has been upped to somewhere like I don't want to say double, but it's gotten better and better. So this is an important piece of the puzzle, and it goes to say that we continue to improve. It wasn't just launching mainnet. It wasn't just shipping the first 2 batches of nanos out. It's also about making sure the technology gets better and better and better. So while we have part of the team working on the supporting the Walter and that partnership, the other part of the team is still working hard on the technology, the orchestrator, and making sure that we have a more robust system all the way around. And it's been great. I mean, these huge strides. Again, I kind of want to talk about that more on Friday and see if I can rope in the tech guys who are involved in that effort. But again, I don't want to distract them too often with dragging them into the town halls and then pulling away from their work. But I'll see what I can do for Friday. That's kind of the bulk of what I had for today. Again, very excited. So Andy Yorett and John and the Walter Army. That's what you'll see over at Gamescom in Cologne in 2 weeks. I'll have more information about which we don't really generally announce the people that we're meeting with, the partnerships, because we could have 80 meetings and get 30 partnerships out of it. You don't know which 80, which 30. So I don't want to kind of color the water and talk about who we're going to meet with. We are planning on Discord is bringing us out to San Francisco in September. We'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. And then we have a big event that we're planning also for November, but I want to hold that one close to my chest too until we have more details about that one. But it is like it's firing up. August, as everyone knows, in Europe is kind of a calm time of year. People take a lot of vacation, so you don't see a lot going on. But for us, we're kind of a duck on the water where it looks calm, but the feet are paddling like crazy. That's kind of the message for us today. All right, well, great. Well, thanks again for tuning in. If you're finding us for the first time, YOM.net is the website that has all of our information. If you want to play games and you haven't started playing yet, walter.gg. If you think that might want to earn passive income from your gaming rig because it sits idle while you go to bed at night or when you go off to school, you want to go to app.yom.net/rigcheck. And I think that's kind of it. We do these town halls every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then again on Fridays at noon Eastern time, which is about 6 p.m. out in Europe, where we have a bigger audience. And the one on Friday generally focuses more on the project, while the one on Wednesday generally focuses on articles like the data center pushback and the games disappearing off of PlayStation's cloud service. That's kind of how we structure it. All right, so here's my wrap up. Be good to yourself. Be good to the people around you. Drink plenty of water. Get out into the sun, but not too much sun. Go out at night, take a look at the stars. Touch your feet on bare ground so you can ground yourself. And tell someone close by that you love them. All right, we'll talk again on Friday. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.